Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
It is the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, the Double T 97.3 mobile app, and don't forget about the DoubleTSportsNetwork.com website, where we have stories going up every single day. You can check out Red Raider Recon there. A little bit later today, as the newest episode will drop with Rob and I. We're very excited to, this week, go through your Big 12 opening three-game stretch of Utah, of Houston, and Kansas. We'll talk about that a little bit today with some scheduled talk for Texas Tech football. It's right around the corner. Clint Scott in for Rob Rowe. Greg Wells to my right. Lucas White across the way taking care of us. And that is a championship coach, Lucas White. He has a ring. He is a sought-after manager on the Little League Baseball diamond. Who knows, the Little League World Series going on right now. You might see in a couple years Lucas fronting a team over there and helping lead them to a deep run in the Little League World Series.
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I did hear, instead of a ticker tape parade down down Avenue Q, they were having one in the hallway over here, and that all employees would be standing in the hallway throwing confetti. Mm-hmm. But that may not work because Lucas has to clean it up. But ticker tape parade, Lucas.
That's the worst. Hey, we're celebrating you, but also bring a vacuum.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So go over specifically what we won, so we can put you on our shoulders and carry you around the room.
You know, you're the most winningest coach in this room.
That's true.
I've been coaching for a while, but I think this is probably the most exciting win, especially with the team that we have. We started slow. We had a couple new kids that've never played before, and we started back in June, just getting kids kind of involved with the game, kind of learning the fundamentals, and watching them progress from June all the way to now is actually probably the biggest accomplishment besides winning the championship, just watching their growth in just a few short months that we've had. And a couple of them didn't know if they wanted to come back, but after the season, they told me and the other coach that they wanted to come back.
Well, winning a championship does that.
And winning a championship does have to do with that as well. So it's good to have the kids wanting to come back and play again and experience that, not just getting to coach them, but also building the friendships and relationships that Little League has in that community.
You know, Craig, I hear there's not a fiery speech out there quite like there is in between the fifth and sixth inning from Lucas White and the dugout over there.
I would believe it. Yeah, I would believe it. You know, Lucas, in listening to you, you've caught it. You've got the bug. Because not being a championship coach, but being a former coach, what you just said is exactly why it's so hard to get out of coaching, or once you're in coaching, it's what keeps you. The championships are great, the winning is great, but when some youngster comes up and says, I want to play next year, that you hadn't ever even played before, or you saw a kid that, you know, stood on the wrong side of the plate and swung the bat with the wrong hand, now he's getting a hit in the championship game. That's what coaching is about, and you've got the bug, because if you're seeing that then and feeling that, yeah, you'll be doing it for a while. I hope, anyway, because that's what you need to be doing. Yeah, Congratulations, Lucas.
Yes, and we'll only refer to you as Coach White from now on.
That's right.
Hey, you can join us on the program today. A couple of texts coming through already, H. Florence Center chat line. You can also call Coach White on the Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973. If you call that number, he'll tell you his best trick play. He's got a lot in the bag over there, Craig.
Yep, I'm sure. And beware, T-ballers. He hasn't used them all yet.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah, that's right.
Bullfighter with the, let's see, what is that, 5 hand on the face emojis as he hears my voice first thing off. Hello, Bullfighter. This question started us off. I know that national media has magnified Tech's NIL deals to attract players, but is it an overreaction? Are the blue blood schools not also investing money on players? How do we compare it to other schools such as the Longhorns and Aggies? It's clearly a brand dilemma with the fans. How can a no-name school like Tech have so much money? Well, I think you are outbidding some of those schools and for this season, but it's not like, Craig, I think to the texter's point, it's like blown out of the water that the concept is like, hey, and you did have to spend money, don't get me wrong, but like you had to spend money so much that you're paying like $30 million more dollars on your roster than what is being invested over at Georgia or Texas or Texas A&M, who are also spending money on their roster. And you know, I would think that you're probably spending, I don't know, if you're basing just off of what Ohio State's reported number was last year. And by the way, these numbers grow for everybody year by year, but last year's was roughly $20 million. I think yours is roughly $25 million from what James Blanchard has said. So that would be about $5 million more. Although you would expect, again, teams' numbers to go up and up. And again, we're not even getting the numbers of what Georgia's spending or what Texas is spending or what Texas A&M is spending because we're used to it. Yeah, they're supposed to be. They're there. They've been invested for a long time. And never is the conversation. They've had the resources the whole time.
And it's. I mean, and you hit it. It's because it's Tech. It's because Tech is not one of those teams, and it's because they have taken players not from Oklahoma State, not from New Mexico State, but they've taken players off the plate of Georgia. They've taken players off the plate of Texas, A&M. You know, those teams that usually get what they want. Are having to fight a little bit for it, and in a different form. It's to me the same thing that happened with Oklahoma State when Boone Pickens said we're going to have the best facilities of anybody, and he opened up his checkbook, and everybody's saying they can't do that. They can't, Well, for a while there, they had the best of everything, and now the arms race is if Oklahoma State's got it, we got to do this and we got to do that, but the same thing's going to happen with players and money. If the rules continue, which I don't think they are, but if they continue like they are, if we're spending $10 million on one player, somebody else is going to up it to 12. I mean, it's a never-ending cycle.
We got some really interesting quotes we'll get to in about 20 minutes from James Blanchard, Kirby Hocutt, Cody Campbell, Joey McGuire. For some reason, I think the one I'm most interested in is James Blanchard because he's been like underrated, I think, to some for what he's meant to this roster.
No doubt.
More into the bench on 100.7 The Score next.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score. Thank you for joining us and making us a part of your Thursday as we round out hour number 1 of 3, going up to noon as always. Clint, Craig, and Lucas keeping us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll get a couple more thoughts from there in just a moment, but now it is time to check the calendar.
Your daily look at what's happening in the world of sports, birthdays, and holidays. Let's check the calendar.
All right, holidays today, August 7th. It's Cycle to Work Day. Are you a bike rider?
That's kind of difficult in Lubbock, Texas, let me tell you. All you got to do is watch the headlines and you'll see bicycle riders getting hurt. But no, to answer that question, I'm not a cycle rider.
I only ride bikes if I know there's a sick ramp somewhere near me so I can get some air.
What about a unicycle? Are you into unicycles?
There was a guy that went to my high school that we called the unicycle kid. His name was Levi. He was a grade above me because he trained himself to ride a unicycle. And no joke, like 3 or 4 months ago, because we're Facebook friends or whatever, hadn't heard from him in forever, and then he had just posted up a video on like something I'm working on, and he was riding his unicycle and playing an acoustic guitar at the same time. I was like, well, good for him for sticking with it, because It's hard enough to do either of those things.
That's a talent because there's not a whole lot of people that can ride a unicycle and strum a guitar at the same time.
Hey, Red Panda's still down, I think. We're gonna need to fill this talent void for halftime shows. It is National IPA Day. Out. No thanks. Not for me. National Sea Serpent Day. Shout out to Nessie.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Is she out there? Is she in the loch? National Lighthouse Day. I've never been to one. Would love to go to any of them.
Name one that sticks out in your mind.
The one by the ocean.
Okay. The one in, what is it, Myrtle Beach, that the lighthouse is right there on the golf course, and they have that golf tournament, and you finish, and it's right at the base of the lighthouse or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the only one I've really paid any attention to.
I watched a really, really weird movie that I can't even remember the title of, but I remember who it was, Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, and they were like lighthouse watchers, and then it turned supernatural, and it was shot in black and white the whole time. Could have been a fever dream, who knows.
Yep.
And then it is particularly preposterous packaging day. Oh, one more, Professional Speakers Day. There you go.
Speak up.
Big holiday list.
We have a couple quarterback birthdays today. Jalen Hurts turns 27. Tommy DeVito also turns 27.
Nice.
Yes.
Fourth stringer.
Yep.
He's going to overtake, I can't remember who's in third. Oh, Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
And then that's the Jameis Winston and, am I forgetting the starter's name?
Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
Kyler Murray, 28. He's probably celebrating by playing Call of Duty. Just going to skim by this one real quick. Sidney Crosby turns 38. Mike Trout turns 34.
Oh, wow. He's 34.
Yeah.
Man.
And you've won more championships than Mike Trout has, Lucas.
That's not his fault, Craig.
And then we have Wayne Knight turning 70.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like Wayne Knight. He's
Yeah.
funny. Shout out Jurassic Park.
Space Jam.
See, nobody cares.
And then we have Maggie Wheeler, who played Janice on Friends. She turned 64. That laugh is just you could hear it and not even see her on TV and be like, yeah, that's Janice.
Yeah.
And then
I hear you have a mean Janice impression.
my mean is a loosely termed.
I meant we're going to be mean if we hear the Janice impression.
Exactly. We have DeMar DeRozan turning 36. Carl Switzer would have had a birthday. He was Alfalfa and the Little Rascals. He was born on this day. And not so fast, Lee Corso turns 90 years
90
old.
years
man.
old today.
Final
Yep.
retirement tour. Or I guess retirement show.
Yep.
Just one.
And just think, you're trading Lee Corso for Pat McAfee. What a difference.
I will say this. There are some times on College Game Day, there are some segments I really like Pat McAfee on there. And then there are others where I'm like, ESPN is a mess right now.
Yep. It's a difference. In 1936, in the Berlin Olympics, the first basketball game in the Olympics, that powerhouse Estonia beat France 34-29. You've all heard of Estonia in 1936, I'm sure.
There's
in
a comedian from Estonia right now that I actually really like.
Is that right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
In 1948, Alice Coachman became the first black woman to win a gold medal, and she won it in the high jump for America. In the London Olympics that year, 1948. 1956, a $5,000 fine for Ted Williams because he spit at a fan for heckling him.
5,000. What would that kind of fine be like?
Oh my gosh, it's got to be at least 10 times that now. You would think. And there's some more, but the one that I will tell you that I have some comment I want you both to comment on is 2007 baseball. Any takers? Barry Bonds, 756th home run to beat Hank Aaron's record. He went on to hit 762. And I was curious because I just thought maybe, so I went to the list, I Googled the list, and there's not an asterisk by it. It's just Barry Bonds.
Really?
Yep.
For as controversial as that, like, should he,
Yep.
shouldn't he be a
Yep.
Hall of Famer? That's
Yep.
interesting to me.
It was, and I went to a couple of lists, and neither one of them had an asterisk. It just Barry Bonds.
Did you go and add it?
No.
You don't have that editing power?
Yeah. But I thought that was interesting. And the question begs itself: should he have an asterisk, or should any record-breaking event have an asterisk by it if there's controversy with it? I don't know.
Well, I know it's hard to line things up.
Yeah.
But I mean, on one hand, like, if you're going to be in a game and a commentator's going to reference him, any record holder like that that might have, then I don't think that there should be, and you do it that way. But on the other conversation, again, if it's like you're not putting him in your Hall of Fame because we can't, it's terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I don't know what the right answer is. I guess I would have just guessed that there would have been one there.
Yeah, that's what I was very curious because I went looking for it thinking that there would be, and I wanted to see what the explanation was that they gave because I just assumed there would be an asterisk there.
Yeah,
Hitting a home run has more than just juicing your arms.
Yeah.
I mean, your hand-eye coordination, your bat swing, all that. I mean, even to hit a Major League Baseball takes talent.
Yep,
so.
No doubt. And he also had 73 home runs in 2001, which is 6 years prior to that.
6 years prior to his neck being the size of a watermelon.
Or his head. Yep. It's just, and you're right, Lucas, that may be one of the hardest things to do in professional sports is to hit a baseball that's coming in any kind of direction possible, and that's hard to do. You're exactly right. I agree with that.
Unless you have a buzzer. It is the end of the bench on 100.7.
Well said.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score. The mobile app brought to you by Happy State Bank. And don't forget about TSportsNetwork.com. Clint Scott, Craig Wells, Lucas White behind the glass taking care of us, keeping us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We got this question. Did you watch the guy going to 50 states in 50 days by car? I did not, but that sounds interesting, something that I will be checking out.
50 states, 50 days by car. That boy spent some time in a car.
So I'm assuming you're shipping the car to Hawaii? I mean, I know that's a thing, but
he was
gotta
riding.
get cars over there somehow.
He was driving around a cruise ship.
If I pick up enough speed, I can just skim the water all the way over there and just hope I line up on the island.
Right.
No, that's interesting. Bullfighter asked if you still have a MySpace.
No. No. In fact, I don't know that I ever did. I missed that one for some reason. I tried everything else, but I missed that one, I think.
I was just telling Gus, I had one, but I was on it like 3 times. I got that and the Facebook account at the same time, and then Facebook just won out.
Blue Sky? Are you on Blue Sky? You know what Blue Sky is? It's a version of Threads and Twitter and X or whatever.
Oh no, I'm not.
Yeah, it's I opened an account, but I've never done anything with it just to see how long it would last and take off. And I don't think it's
You're
taking
asking about burgers for a second.
Yeah, I don't think it's taken off very fast.
I made my first ever Facebook without my mom's permission. And
This year?
no. But the best part was I made a Facebook without her permission and without her knowing. And then she found out, and it was the exact same day she made hers.
Oh.
So she was like, "Did you make one?" Because I made one. I had no idea she made one.
Yeah.
But a bunch
That's
of my
funny.
friends had it in like middle school, and I wanted to be cool like them, so I made it without her knowing. But we made 2 separate Facebook accounts on the exact same day.
I don't know that I would have made one had my daughters not encouraged me to. And I'm glad they did, because it has helped me keep up with some friends that I wasn't able to keep up with otherwise.
Yeah.
But
It's I mean,
yep.
helpful.
Yep.
Can be. Bullfighter also said, "I can ride my bike with no handlebars." And hopefully you'll get it. That for you as I can talk. Yeah. That's going to be stuck in my head
Yep.
all day. Lucas has our burning questions.
2 minutes of non-stop in-your-face inquiries with no end in sight. It's time for Burning Questions.
So my wife and I were anticipating Wednesday coming back on Netflix with the Jenna Ortega show.
Oh.
That came back yesterday. We only watched one episode just due to timing, and I'm not a show critic, but I wasn't really enjoying the first episode. It'll probably get better, but I didn't really get into the first episode. My question to you guys is there something you heavily anticipated or you were really excited for and it came out, but it kind of wasn't to your hype? Like, you built something up in your mind anticipating it to be exciting or fun, and it came out and it was enjoyable. You liked it, yes, but it wasn't up to your high expectations that you had.
Yeah, you're explaining the entire Jurassic World franchise. I haven't even seen the newest one because I just... It's fine. I have... And you know what? You could probably do this like with all of the... They got so much, I say they, Disney, with like the Star Wars franchise, that they've like taken some of the magic away, and also there's like so much to keep up with if you want to like have some of these movies or shows make sense. And I get it, they're making money, and they're doing it like with the Marvel stuff too, but there's all of that stuff is like so watered down. But the first one I think of is I was so excited for Jurassic World, and that's exactly how you described it. Is I still was entertained the first 2 movies, and I will see the third one eventually. But I mean, the first 3 Jurassic Park was such a huge part of my childhood, and in a lot of ways, like shaped how I watch almost said adult movie, like movies as made for adults and not just children, because that's when I was a kid, and they just have not captured the same magic for some reason. Also, again, speaking of Wayne Knight, happy birthday.
I'll go opposite of that, Lucas. I was late to the party for Yellowstone. I just didn't think I was gonna. I mean, I'm not. It just wasn't me, and so it was out. The first series was out, and the second one had started, and the people I worked with and so forth were talking about it and everything, and I thought, well. And my attention span must not be very long, because it's hard for me to sit and watch something. But I sat and watched the first episodes of it and became a Yellowstone fan real quick. I didn't think I'd like it, but it was really good, really good.
I had seriously, the show that people have told me to watch the most specifically, hey, you specifically will like this show, was Letterkenny. And it's in the books now, and they've moved on to Shoresy now, who season 5 coming out, starting production in 2025, and that should tell you how much I enjoyed it when I burnt through all 12 seasons of Letterkenny, and then burnt through all 4 seasons of Shoresy, and I texted a couple of people specifically that had said it numerous times. Did and it was annoying me because I hate when people do this. Like, you watch Letterkenny yet? and
No.
it turns into like I'm not watching it out of spite now.
Yeah.
And then I finally broke down and watched it, and So
binge watcher? You a binge watcher? Either one of you? Will you watch binge watch
What do you
something?
consider binge watching? Like, is there an episode limit, or
I
is you
think
just,
I think it's like a
spending
time.
all afternoon?
It depends on how much of the show is out. Like this is a great example.
Yeah.
Letterkenny. That's a lot of seasons,
Yeah.
right? 12 seasons. Even if there's 6, 7 episode seasons, I watched that within 2 weeks, including Shoresy. I feel like that's binging. If it's like one season, and again depends on how many episodes are there. If it's like, hey, you need to go watch this season of whatever show, and there's like 10, I feel like you have like a week to count that as bingeable.
Yeah.
Hardcore binging is like on a weekend though.
Yeah, I've done it twice. Once with Yellowstone and once with House of Cards on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I watched like 2 or 3 episodes, 2 or 3 series, like years in one night. And like I watch year 1 of House of Cards, and then year 2, and then year 3, because I waited until they had some. But then once I started watching it, it was 8 or 9, 10 hours later. I was.
It always cracks me up whenever you used to have linear television that would make a big deal about like 24-hour marathon of Pitbull parolee. Tune in, and like now it's like that's what people do.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yep. But I wouldn't say I was a binge watcher, but I have done it.
I'm not really a series watcher in general, so when I do, I feel like I've stockpiled episodes, and then I do turn into a binge watcher.
Either one of you watched Landman season 1?
I haven't.
Yes. Watch the entire thing.
Pretty good, isn't it?
My wife and I love it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now season 2 is being filmed right now. Is that right?
Yes. My wife keeps up with all the when is season 2 getting filmed and when is it going to drop and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The other question I have for you is, would you rather?
Ooh.
Would you rather win your fantasy football league for $1,000, or hit a 10-leg parlay for $1,000?
I'd rather win my fantasy league, because if I do that, I am untouchable in my mind with betting, and I will lose everything I own within a month. Because I'm like, see, babe, I told you, I've had this whole thing figured out. It's all about being smarter than the system. And then I'm going to bet everything.
10-game parlay, simply because the gamble of it. I mean, it's just, you're putting what you think is your knowledge up against what the bookies think. And
everything has to hit just perfectly on that.
Yeah. You have to have picked the right 10 games and have a little knowledge.
But if you do the fantasy football, there's also a chance that with your $1,000, you're watching one of your buddies like sit at a Burger King for 24 hours.
Absolutely.
It's the end of the bench, 100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
He's Tom, I'm Foolery. It is the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score. Thank you for joining us. Hour number 3 will go up to noon as we are live from the First United Bank studio. You can join us on the program on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. You can also call us on the Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973. Ask the Benchwarmers will be 45 minutes from now. We'll also give you another dose of headlines. And now, let's get into some of that. Do you still have those odds over there?
I do.
Because I had a question, speaking of the brand question. You and I share an opinion on Utah that somehow is differed from the national standpoint. Or to some, nationally.
Yep.
You have them?
Yep, I'm getting them.
Okay, sorry. Well,
they're coming.
It's funny, like McMurphy has picked Utah to win the Big 12 and be the lone representative in the college football playoff. I've seen a couple others pick Utah, and it doesn't compute with me. I mean, I don't think they'll be as bad as they were last year. Offensively, it would be pretty tough to be as bad as they were last year. But to me, they're coming in with more questions from a weapons standpoint. And so you look at new running back. I still think, fine stats at Washington State, but not a 1,000-yard rusher, not anything where you're looking around the rest of the room too, where you're going kind of what you're doing, where you're going by committee with some young guys and you have 3 talented guys. They have a guy that they're putting a lot in. The receivers have, there's a lot of faith, I think, or maybe it's just by default. You have to have faith in your players. The receivers that they've brought in that they're going to lean on have nothing to show for in their career. So that's purely projection, and I don't think even projection at a high level when you're coming from places like Southern Miss. Just me.
Yep.
I think that you are really going to test, because I think the defense for Utah will be good, and I think the offensive line will be as advertised. But then you also bring in a quarterback that at a lower level was a turnover machine, super athletic, very one-dimensional, and I'm not sure if they should be counting on took that big of a step. But I see all of these things together, and I'm with some of the chat line that's been like, why is Utah being – we've had this question, why is Utah – being picked as a favorite or thought of as a favorite? And my answer is, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
BetMGM has Utah as a favorite, and then Kansas State, Arizona State, Baylor, and Tech all tied in the next favorite slot. My question about Utah, and I would be interested in talking to somebody that believes this, why? I mean, what are you going on that makes you believe they're the favorite? Is it the fact that they've got some really good offensive linemen? Is it the fact that they got a running quarterback that played in a less than Power 4 level? Is it because 3 years ago when Cameron Rising had his best year, they were pretty good? I mean, what is out there that makes people think that Utah is going to be really good?
Ultimately, I think this is the Whittingham effect.
Yep.
Because in his career, it has been a rare occurrence that he's been looking to the next season for any sort of true bounce back going. We can't have what last year happened this year. He's had some 6-win seasons. It hasn't all been double-digit winning seasons. But it's got to be a mix of the Whittingham effect, and then also looking around and thinking, and I agree with this part, like the Big 12, and this goes to when you get to that next level where you got 4 teams with the same odds, and then TCU right behind them, not super far away.
No.
I do think at the top, I think that there are right now as we stand, 6 or 7 teams. I wouldn't be floored if they were in the Big 12 championship game. And I wouldn't be floored, I guess, to see Utah either, but just to see them as that's the most I've seen as a lock-in favorite.
Yep.
And that's the part that I don't get. If it's I think they'll bounce back and could have a good year, okay, understand that. But just for everyone jumping on the train, it feels like it's a mix of Whittingham is the coach that we recognize the most. He has had a lot of success in his career. Last year didn't go right, but then you also put together the Big 12 does seem like a pretty open conference. And last year, or if it's anything like last year, then you're going to go down to the wire between a handful of teams as far as deciding who are your 2 participants in Arlington.
My question is, why is Utah the favorite when they're ranked 30th in the coaches poll?
Yeah. And and that you bring up a good point. And in the coaches poll, there are people that didn't even get a vote. And then there's also people that voted them in the top 10. You go down this list and you see Utah, and I'm not a guru by any stretch of the imagination, but I can understand Kansas State being one of the top favorites. Why? Because they've proven it. I mean, year in and year out for the last 3 or 4 years, they have been a contender. Do they always win, and are they Big 12 champions? Yes, sometimes, but not all the time. But they're a contender every year. And they've got, albeit a question on my part, but they've got supposedly, on paper, one of the best quarterbacks coming back, Avery Johnson. Arizona State, defending champion, and they've got, 20 of 22 people back that they had last year. Baylor, last 6 games, as good as anybody. Sawyer Robinson, found his niche, and Jake Spavital was the OC for him, and he got them going offensively. They've always been pretty darn good defensively. And then Texas Tech, hey, with the roster that we have, we should be considered one of the favorites. There's an explanation for nearly everything, but and I'm sure with the gurus, there is for Utah. I'm like Lucas. Why? I mean, why? And if there's a reasonable explanation, I'm all for it. Put them up there. Are they as one of the top 5 or 6 teams? Absolutely. But to be an outright favorite to win the conference, I don't know why.
It makes me laugh because if it is again, I truly believe that offensive line is going to be the best in the conference. Those guys were here last year.
Yeah.
That defense was good last year.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, do you really trust that Dampier is going to make that much of an effect, right? Because he could make an effect in the wrong way. Like, yeah, he could add some more explosive plays for Utah, which they were severely lacking. But he can also be the root of a lot of, if he is like last year, what are you doing type of plays. He was seriously, the way that I thought of him at his level, and this is not a compliment, he was a lower level Jalen Daniels, especially the Jalen Daniels that played in the first 6 games for Kansas, where you're going, why are you throwing that, dude? Exactly. And so they're putting a lot of weight by default in believing in Devin Dampier, and that's the part that I just do not get. And then again, losing some of your best weapons on top of it, of who he's going to be throwing the ball to or who he's going to be leaning on to with the rest of the offense, you are testing the theory of how good can a great offensive line and solid defense take you.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is Ask the Benchwarmers. One more with us here on the End of the Bench, 100.7 The Score. Thank you for joining us. The bottom line will be coming up next at noon, and then you can tune in to Tech Talk over on Double T 97.3 at 3 o'clock. No baseball games tonight. There are baseball games, but not on our airwaves. Rangers and Astros both off. You do have the start of NFL preseason tonight, including both the Bengals will be in action at 6:30, and the Raiders 9 o'clock. A
lot of Tech flavor on both those games.
Absolutely. So yeah,
that'll be interesting.
We're here. If you I guess you could have done this at the Hall of Fame game, but
yep.
If you want to watch some pads pop.
Before we start our questions that we're getting in, I want to make a shout out to Todrick Gocher, the new assistant basketball coach at Texas Tech. If you want your kids to be around somebody that's driven and has a purpose and is a good person, then I can see why Coach McCaslin added him to his staff. Good guy, really a good guy.
Perfect situation, right?
Yep.
Like, well-liked player for a reason on and off the court. But if you look at just on the court, he represents something that is just hard to – I'm not complaining with how sports are. You've benefited from how sports are with college basketball. But he's here for 5 years, gets hurt, within the 10 games of his first year. But you got to sit here and watch him as a player – develop and get better and get more and more productive and be a really good player for you. And you got to grow with him. And then you also add in a good guy off the court.
Yes.
Also, you add in 9 years of overseas professional experience.
Yep.
And you could certainly benefit from a lot of guys having the mindset of Todrick Gocher. So perfect situation. Love it.
Dependable.
Glad that's worked out.
What's the Sports Center say? The record for the most games played for Texas Tech basketball, 1,360 or something like that.
136.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For most games.
136.
Yeah, 136.
I meant 1,000. I didn't mean 1,000. He was here for 12 years. No, really, and also a couple.
That's what you're getting into now.
Yeah, a couple of other shout-outs to former All Saints basketball players. Luke Stewart is going to be the new director of operations for Stephen F. Austin, who is now coached by Matt Brower, the former Texas Tech coach. And Jacob Cates is going to be the Director of Development for Florida State Athletics in the state of Texas. He has the Texas territory. And
awesome.
And both successful journeys for them. But lots of good athletes and lots of good things off the courts and fields in Lubbock, Texas, including our tech athletes. And it is great to see young people start their careers and athletics play a role in their life. I think that's pretty awesome on my part.
Yeah, that's awesome. This from Bullfighter. Benchwarmers, almost football season, which means tailgate food. If a certain listener were to cook, what would be some easy/not messy meals y'all might want to try during the morning/afternoon shows y'all do? I'll probably do burritos for morning games and Little Smokies for afternoon games. And he also said, I'll try not to poison yours, Clint.
Bullfighter, you're on the right track, buddy. Breakfast burritos is hard to beat. And Little Smokies, the secret to Little Smokies, you can eat a lot of them and not think you're eating a lot. Think about it. You can eat a lot of them. Oh, I just had a couple of them, 4 or 5 maybe, and think, well, I could get another 4 or 5 in there.
It's like the potato chip effect. You're like, I haven't eaten that many, and you look and you've destroyed the whole
Yeah.
bag.
Where'd that bag go?
Where did that pan of Little Smokies go? I don't know.
Good choices.
Those are great first 2 options. Anything, and this goes with the breakfast burrito, but for tailgate food, I've grown because we didn't really have this. It's a Texas thing, but the sausage in tortilla, anything barbecue in tortilla, I'm learning from a tailgate standpoint, I will like.
Yep.
I didn't think the two went together until I started trying stuff down here, and now I'm just like, boy, this is so, and it's non-messy, easy to do. I say easy to do. My other thing, my favorite grilled tailgate food of all time, if you do the bacon-wrapped cream cheese jalapeno poppers.
Believe it or not, I was not a fan of that about 9 months ago. And
a baby's time has changed.
And yes, and it's the old axiom that your parents tell you, just try it, Mikey. Well, I tried it, and I love them. They're great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're really good, especially if that bacon is crisp.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down on that stuff now. I'm telling you.
Speaking of barbecue, sometimes you'll get where people get crazy and they'll shoot some pulled pork or something in there too. Oh yeah,
or brisket,
or brisket. Oh,
and let me tell you something else. Tailgating. Cheese will go on anything. Anything. There is no such thing as a bad tailgate if you got cheese on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
But at the end of the day, though, I'm not upset if someone's just like, I'm doing burgers.
Yeah.
I'm game. All right, cool.
With cheese on it.
This Texarkana, Texas, is my hometown. Went to Texas high school.
Yep.
Very cool.
That's pretty cool that you drive down the street and you're in 2 different states. I mean, that's just pretty cool.
You can do that over in New Mexico.
Yeah, close. Yeah, Yep, sure
can.
Did
a little bit of that last
that's
weekend.
Just pretty cool. Farwell, go stand in the city limits and that in Texaco.
Now I'm in Texaco.
Yeah.
Now I'm in Farwell. For some reason, there's a cop waiting on that. On that.
And it's usually on. Yeah.
That video series, the state saying, he said he raised over $10 million for the fundraiser he did. Oh, that's cool.
Great.
I didn't know it was for a fundraiser.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Sweet. Benchwarmers, do y'all think Texas Tech goes to the Big 12 championship if they lose to BYU and Arizona State? If it's BYU, no, because if you're losing to that BYU team, you're dropping a home game. And I'll say this: I think if with your toughest 3 games, I'll feel great. I think you'll for sure be in the Big 12 championship game if you go 2-1. Any mix between Kansas State, Arizona State, Utah. If you go 1-2 in those games, you've still certainly got a really good shot of being in the Big 12 championship game. But that's where you get into iffy tie territory. To me,
10-2, I think you're probably going to be in a tiebreaker, and you better have the tiebreaker winner. 11-1, I think you're in.
Yeah,
I think you're in with 11-1. 10-2, I think there's a possibility there could be 2 or 3, 4 teams in that 10-2 category.
Just like last year, where you have 4 teams.
Yeah.
I really think you are in for a similar year, and every single one of those teams that specifically look at BYU and look at Colorado, the two that end up in the Alamo Bowl, because they're the ones who are on the outside looking in. BYU, it's funny because they're both against Kansas, but they both have games where they go, how did you drop that game?
Yeah.
And when you look at everybody, with the teams that you need to take care of at the time, you need to take care of them, right? And then Arizona State, if they had been on the outside looking in, theirs would have been, yes, you beat them, but theirs 100% would have been Cincinnati, because that's Cincinnati right before they go on a 5-game losing skid. If it was Iowa State, also lost to Kansas in that stretch. they would have had, they have windows. They lose to you as well. They each have games where you go, boy, that's the one that we look back on and say should have taken care of that team. I really don't think you can afford something like that where, Arizona State, Utah, Kansas State, if you drop any one of those 3, it's going to be understandable, right? But if you're dropping a home game or if you lose at Houston, that's nightmare city. That's okay. You can't have a game like that. That'll absolutely keep you out.
You know what's pretty cool? The last week of the season could be the determining factor for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And how cool is it if you're playing the last game of the season for a chance at the Big 12 championship game? That's great. I'd like to cool it up before
I say
then.
Stressful.
Yeah. I want to, I want to be playing for that Big 12 championship.
In Morgantown, everything's on the line. Hey, guys, thanks for letting me join in again.
Thank you for being here.
This was fun.
Come back when you can stay longer.
The bottom line up next.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.